Person say all praises, glory, and honor to you. How about Shema Al Shai, about Shem Kabdash? We get on to this person teach great wisdom from Allah and the truth. Now, so shalom to the hopeful luck of Israel. Now, I'm trying to make this quick, but I'm just going to play this video here. As you can see, it's put up a few days ago, 2 days ago, this week. And Trump, let me see what the people in the comments are saying, because Trump just verbalized that he doesn't care about the finances of Americans. Now, obviously, we already know that, he doesn't give a fuck, right? The niggas he's with the niggas at the top. They're there working for themselves. And even then, they're not even working together, because them niggas have no problem offing each other, right? But they certainly don't care about the mindless sheep, the common rabble, especially the common rabble. But, yeah, you have a lot of people, and like Esau's continuously being revealed who he really is. Once again, we already know who this nigga is, but to the people don't know, they purposefully refuse to acknowledge that the so-called white man is a fucking devil. And you had the UN, probably about a month ago or a couple months ago, they had it officially recognized that the transatlantic slave trade was the worst atrocity that was ever committed in human history. Which that's true, especially when you take into consideration that they scrubbed a lot of the history that went on. A lot of that shit was fucking removed from history books, and like what? So there's a ton of shit that we don't know about that actually happened, that we don't fucking know about. And proof of that is the fact that they're trying to erase slavery from the history books. We're not given for example, the various forms of torture. You don't learn that in school. How, you learn, yes, our people got their ass beat, whips, but that's the bare fucking bones minimum. How is it that our people got to be the way that they are? What happened, to the so-called Native American Indians, Latino tribes? What exactly happened? What had to have happened for a people to have been, when you go into the mindset, because what? All of these things just don't magically happen. There had to have been somebody that has sat down and made an organized program for how to do this and how to do that, how to strip these people, how to get them, how to beat them into submission, how to get them to, to be reliant on the enemy. There was an intricate process that was undertook. That's the correct term to use, to get these people to be the way that they are. All of this shit doesn't just fucking happen. But that's just an example. They're scrubbing that history from the history books, and obviously, try to scrub the history of who we are, right? But this is the pretty much the American leadership in a nutshell. Because if you're like with the scripture talk about how the king, so are his officers, how the king of the city is, so are his officers and the people, right? So once again, if Trump is saying that he doesn't give a fuck about Americans, their finances, or essentially when he says he doesn't care about their finances, you may have some people that try to interpret it, because he tried to say he doesn't care about I'm going to play the video, of course, but finances, because all he's worrying about is trying to make sure Iran doesn't get a fucking nuke, which you may have some people try to spin on it to try to say that, hey, he cares, Iran not getting a nuke is more important than finances. He's doing the good thing, but this is how this nigga really thinks. And trying to have a spin on that angle is complete bullshit, because Trump clearly doesn't give a fuck about you people. And this has been a running gag here in America, in which you have leaders that will say, hey, vote for me, I'll help you, but then when they actually get in office, they don't do shit to help you, to make it fucking worse. And Trump's son, by the way, who isn't going to the military, you people's children are going to the military, but Trump's son, he's been making money off of oil and crypto and shit like that. Meanwhile, you niggas and your children are out here starving and motherfucking suffering. And Trump just flayed it out, saying he doesn't give a fuck about your finances. And essentially, he doesn't give a fuck about you if he, because everything goes back to your money. It's curious as some of the comments here say. Wow, he doesn't care about us. Big surprise. You know, and once again, make no mistake, anybody who's a billionaire or trillionaire, quadrillionaire, whatever, is a part of these niggas. They're a part of the group in some form or fashion. You know, and anybody who has, because that's how this society is run. You know, sure, you may have a few millionaires who may not be up there, but as far as like billionaires, trillionaires, niggas with the type of money and access to resources that Trump has is up there. Hell, anybody who's in a high position in the fucking White House, you niggas don't think that the president, that somebody in that high a position isn't going to be controlled? That's crazy. That doesn't make sense. When you understand that there's that those banking niggas, they control the whole world, why would they not have control over the president and people who are influential in society and have, you know, access to a ton of resources? Why wouldn't they be in control of that person? This nigga he's nothing more than a puppet doing the bidding of his masters. It doesn't matter how outspoken he is. It doesn't matter how against establishment he presents himself. And the Lord talked about how there's going to be no healing for Babylon. Jeremiah 51:7-9. That America can't be healed. And people think that nominating Trump for president, which once again, it's all just theater. But they think that in their minds, they vote for Trump for president, and he's going to heal America because what? Because he says America first, because he does a few things that Americans are in support of, which, mind you, for example, putting tariffs on your allies. People say that, hey, it's time for America to to be number one because they've been, providing military aid and money to all these, various organizations, which is true. But it's America's time now to be America. It's America's time to be number one. And his way of doing that is fucking over your allies. You don't last long by doing something like that. Especially now when everybody has fucking nuclear weapons.
Are Americans' financial situation motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
So obviously, once again, people may try to spin it and say that, hey, he's looking at the big picture, which is complete fucking bullshit. Because what? The whole war thing, man, there was different angles that he's going to the war, a preemptive strikes because they anticipated them attacking America to help Israel, right? To liberate the people from their leader. Now that the people were so-called liberated, why is the war still going on? Oh, now it's because they can't have a nuke. What's it going to be next? But this is what they think. Because what? And when Trump talked about how the economy was doing great, he was talking about for himself. That's a lot of dumbasses don't get. But this is an example of America not being healed, because for a lot of people, Trump was their last motherfucking hope. Especially white people. Make America white again. If it ain't white, it ain't right. He was their last motherfucking hope. And it's surreal to a lot of people too, because can America really be ending? Yes, nigga, it is. This is the truth that, because like what? A lot of people will look at us like we're crazy, a bunch of crazy niggas. They'll say that, hey, push them in the corner. Ignore them. The things that they're saying, they're a cult. You know, the things that they're saying, it's not true. Now, it's going to get to a point to where you people have no choice but to fucking believe it. Just like with the Lord Yahweh Shemal Shai and his son being so-called black men, having dark skin, looking like us. There's going to get to a point to where the people, will have no choice but to fucking accept it. Zed 19:4. 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon the swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the isles of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Now set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, they shall fight everyone against their brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. You have all these things going on. You know, the whole spirit of mirth here in America. That's a big ass fucking cat. Bro, is that a dog? The whole spirit of America fucking waning. You know, prime example of that is the lack of patriotic spirit. People not wanting to go over there and fight for their country. Whether it's right or wrong, because your forefathers, a generation ago, them niggas didn't give a fuck whether it was right or wrong. You know, America first. America needs to do some killing. Let's go over there and do some motherfucking killing. But now people are starting to question their leadership. They're saying, wait a minute. Why are we going over here to fight in these goddamn wars that have nothing to do with us? Here it is, your own president, the leader of the free world, says he doesn't care about Americans' financial situations. In arguably, not even arguably, in the most critical moments in American history, this nigga says he doesn't give a fuck about the American financial situation. Which is why he has no problem fucking stalling and drawing out that war as long as he fucking wants. So as long as he so-called wants. Because he doesn't have to worry about gas prices. You people do. And that's okay. You know? Some of your daughters and sons will have to get sent over there to that war, and that's a sacrifice that Trump is willing to make. Can you feel it now, Mr. Krabs? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Which are all of these damn, and these niggas are quite literally fucking warlocks and wizards. What's that dumbass Marina Abramovich said that? I think it was her that said that Trump he's a warlock or a wizard or a magic user. I think she used the term mage specifically, but all three of those are pretty much the same in the same damn realm. But she said that he's like a wizard of the highest motherfucking order because of how he speaks and how he can manipulate the people. You know, you have like thaumaturgy, which is like the use of words to manipulate reality, and which goes into magic and wizardry and shit like that. And Trump, you know, once again, these niggas, they have the ability to say things and for people to act upon them. You know, obviously, you know, it's all theater and they set shit up, but they do. The Lord does allow them to have access to left hand angels and what people will consider magic, mage, and wizardry and shit like that. But it says, verse 4, and the Egyptians will give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. And once again, people will say that gas prices have been was way worse under Joe Biden, which, you know, you could say, okay, yeah, that's true. But now you have an increase in everything, not only in gas prices, but in everything. Not only that, but you have, you know, America's international relations is complete fucking garbage. The situation as a whole is worse under Trump than under Joe Biden. You know? And mind you, for a lot of people don't understand that Joe Biden started all this shit. And Trump, he's running with Joe Biden walked, or he fell down damn stairs so Trump could run. He set all this shit in motion. Well, he didn't really obviously, not everything, as each new president is installed, they take a step further, and they take things a step further beyond what the previous president set in motion, set up. They're just continuing the thing, and Trump is just continuing what his compatriots already started. They're all working part of the same fucking move. The scriptures talk about how you have I think it's called the lamb or ram, lamb with two horns, referring to the two-party system. Let me see. Revelation 13:11, I beheld another beast coming out of the earth that had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. And obviously you say a lamb, which is the Democrat Republican part, the two-party system, right? But obviously it'll appear as a lamb because it looks like a lamb, right? It looks harmless. It looks as if it's a delicate creature, how they want to help you. But when you actually go into what they do, the laws that they enact, this type of shit that they slip under you people's noses, such as fucking putting into Congress or a bill or law about how young men of ripe age for the military are going to be automatically enlisted into the fucking draft. And mind you, they told you people that after he already put that shit in there. So pretty much there's nothing anybody could do about it if you didn't know about it beforehand. And now he's saying that, hey, he doesn't care about you people's fucking financial situation. In other words, fuck y'all. And this has been a running gag. This is a constant, a staple in American government history. The leaders speak peaceably to you people, but then when they fucking get in there, they fuck all of you people over, and you niggas are left holding a goddamn bag. Not the money bag. You niggas are just left looking like fucking idiots. And this is a part of the reason why you have sedition. Why you're gonna have so many people crashing the fuck out. Because niggas are quite literally on their last motherfucking leg. This is why you're gonna have so many people that are pissed and angry. Everybody's stressed. Because they can't imagine how there's this government that truly doesn't give a fuck about them. They pay taxes, they do all these things, and then they get discarded. The American people can't fucking handle that. There's this whole I had the whole food stamps thing, When that shit was cut off for a month and niggas are losing their goddamn shit because niggas don't have money. You got a lot of niggas there just sitting on their asses. They're just, taking advantage of the system when it could be fucking working. But they can't imagine that their government would just throw them to the fucking wolves, which they've already done. The wolves are just now starting to creep up on you niggas. But they appear to be they appear to be good people, They talk about how they want to help you, how they want to do this, how they're tired of the corruption, yet here they are taking part in that very same corruption. And you'd say they're hypocrites, which they're really not, because once again, they don't mean a single word of what they say to you people. They're just telling y'all what y'all want to hear to keep you pacified for the moment, to keep you voting. And you can say that this is all fucking conspiracy theory, but what do you have to say about that? About Trump not giving a fuck about you people's financial situations? What do you have to say about that? Because all these so-called conspiracy theories are turning out to be fucking true. And a reason why the Lord is gonna tear the ass of, is gonna put a boot up the ass of 2/3 of our people, is because even in the midst of this type of shit going on, you have niggas that are still talking shit. Literally until, and it mentions how Noah was the same, in Noah's time it was the same motherfucking way. Matthew 24:37. But as in the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. until the very day. Let me see what it says in the blue letter 24 and 37. And like what? Those niggas were talking shit and playing around literally up until that rain started falling. Them niggas look, and then they finally looked up. They said, "Oh shit, what's going on?" And my voice cracked on purpose. That's exactly how they said it. Voices cracked and everything. They felt that pit in their stomach. It was like, man, what's going on? Was it 24? Okay, Matthew 24:37 NLT. When the Son of Man returns, it will be like it was in Noah's day. In those days before the flood, the people were enjoying banquets and partings and weddings. Right, yeah, right up to the time Noah attended to his vote. So literally, right up until the time when that rain started dropping, till the very last motherfucking second, you had niggas that was partying up and talking all types of shit. But then when that rain dropped, literally it took literally until the shit to actually happen for them niggas to take a step back and say, wait a minute, something's not right here. And those are niggas. And you're going to have our people doing the very same motherfucking thing, which is why we say fuck them. Which is why the Lord said, pray not for this people. Because literally it's going to be right up until the fucking pen drops. Right up until everything goes up in flames. Just look at the pandemic. Right? Because you have Bibles that were leaving the book that talk about, Bibles leaving fucking bookshelves and stores and shit. But that only happened in the midst of the pandemic. Because niggas thought that things were going to be okay until shit got locked down. Then people was looking around like, oh, fuck. And then right in the midst of everything going on, you have the scripture says, same thing. If all the prophets are going to be taken out the street, and that's when niggas are going to start looking. Because when the prophets are actually taken off of the streets, that's when everything goes to fucking hell. And then that's when people are going to start looking. Right up until the very motherfucking time when shit drops. Even though they've had ample time to get their shit together. And this is nothing more than, once again, another example of how America is completely and utterly fucked. And it's not just something that we're saying just for the fuck of it. This is an undeniable fucking fact.
Bucatini, Olive Garden's new Calabrian sauce, just may become your new favorite homemade sauce. Then again, we're family, and families don't pick favorites.
Bro, where's the skip button?
Okay, maybe they do.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that motivates.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top.
And there you motherfucking go. That's your leader. Is this your king? To all of you stupid fucking niggers who say niggers for Trump, this is your fucking king. Which is funny. And once again, it's another reason why the Lord is going to completely eviscerate you niggas. Because we already have a king who sacrificed his life for us. And you've had, going to our history, the Lord has destroyed kings for our sake over and over again. He never kicked our ass for no fucking reason. But over and over again. And like what? If you go against the so-called white man law, he punishes you too. The Lord, if you go against his law, he punishes you. So what's the hiccup? What's the big hubbub about? What's the motherfucking problem? Because these niggas will bend the knee to Esau, and if they go against Esau, Esau will punish them. If you go against the Lord will punish you. The thing about it is that if you do right with the Lord, he'll do right by you. Well, everything he does is right, but you know what I mean, If you do right with the Lord, he's going to reward you. Better way to put it. If you do right by Esau, he's going to fuck you over, and he might even do that quite literally. He's already done it to our people quite literally. He'll fuck you, right? He's done that buck breaking, right? But he'll fuck you over even if you do correctly. Look at what's going on now. You have people that go to college, they do all this, you know, they get straight motherfucking A's, and they graduate college and wake up, no job applications motherfucking denied, phantom job openings. And now you got motherfuckers that are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and they can't even work at the goddamn McDonald's because they're so-called overqualified. Even though they've done everything right. You have niggas that'll get a good job, make a lot of money, get married, have children, and then 6 or 7 years later, his wife are fucking around on him, and then he'll get taken to court, done everything right. He'll get fucking fleeced and kicked out on the fucking street. Done everything right. You could be a good, upstanding citizen, and people will make fun of you for being a righteous person. Done everything right, and you'll still get fucked over in Esau society. That's why the Lord's going to eviscerate you niggas, because you quite literally love evil, which is insane. Because in the age of evil, you niggas loving evil, you're fucking suffering. Every second of every day, you're suffering, but you love it. That's not normal. That's why you niggas have to fucking go. Because we're not going to have niggas like this in the kingdom. Twisted, evil, vile pieces of shit. And you going for well, I'm not going to say that because you got brothers there into rap music as well. I personally can't fucking stand rap music. Sound like a bunch of ruckus. But you have niggas that are in the rap music industry and whatnot that talk about how pretty much, these I'm not sure about the increases in certain, terminology, but the niggas who hire them, because obviously they make the music, and there's companies that they work for that are headed by Jewish niggas and Edomites that own the rights to their music and whatnot, and whatever, whether it's boxing or sports. You can get fucked over and have everything taken from you by the niggas who own your music, own your name, your label, and whatnot. You don't own it yourself. And at any moment, they could cut you and still make money off of your shit. That's and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. That's the nigga that y'all love. Is this your king? That's pretty much it. I hope that found. So y'all praise the glory and honest. How about Shema Shabbat Shukak Dash? The Ron says, Apostle, teach great message on truth, show unto hope of Israel, instruction, battle, great America.